Hello viewers, my name is Ashok Sen Gupta, Assistant Professor in School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. Today's class is based on some theories belongs to capital structures. This topic is a part of Financial Management and Corporate Finance in MBA program. So, in previous classes we able to understand what is capital structure. Capital structure is a kind of combination of various financial investment by the investor in a company or borrowings from the company as a finance. It is a long term process, it is irreversible process. Capital structure is very important for the company's point of view, for the profitability of the companies. So, continue with this topic today. We can understand that what are the theories which belongs to the capital structure. As per the curriculum, there are two types of theories like relevance theories and irrelevance theories. So, first theory belongs to capital structure. When degree of debt finance is increases the capital in the capital structure, the equity shareholders are exposed to higher degree of risk. This is quite true. When we increase the debt, the degree of risk of equity shareholder increases because we have to pay the interest before paying the dividend. We have to pay the dividend interest in any circumstances. We must give the priority to the debenture holders or debts. The debts investor are first be the part of the profit, they must claim the profit first, they must be part of the profit distribution and claim first. In case of liquidation, the claim on the equity shareholders is only residual, arises only after payment of debt. If company liquidated, insolvent, sells all its assets and pay to the investors, priorities will given to the debenture holder or debt, and the residual will pay to the equity shareholders. Therefore, equity shareholders always win in risk, high risk, if we increase the debts. So, these theories going to prove what must be the optimum debt ratio, what will happen when we increase the debt, what will happen when what will happen to the value of the company, is overall cost of capital will increase, cost of equity will increase. So, with this theory we will prove. Derived views have been expressed on the relationship between leverage, cost of capital and value of the firms. There is a relationship between the cost of capital, leverage means use of debt, and value of the firm. A financial management manager must keep eye on the performance of the company and also look after the aspects of increasing the value of the shareholders, equity shareholders with the debentures. Financial manager must keep close watch on the cost of capital also. So, different views of relationship is known as theories of capital structure theories. First relevance theories, second is irrelevance theories. In relevance theories, first theory is net income approach. First theory is net income approach. This theory was suggested by Durand. In this theory, he stated the relationship between capital structure and value of the firm. Therefore, the firm can affect its value by increasing or decreasing the proportion of debt in the overall performance mix, overall financial mix. So, in net income approach, we will going to find out what will happen when we increase the level of debt, how will it affect on the equity capital or equity cost of capital, what proportionate of debt we use for overall financial mix. So, financial mix means it is a mixture of debentures, bonds, equity, shares, preference share, etc. In practically, maximum number of companies use both equity and debenture to maintain the balance and maintain and also satisfy the needs of the shareholders with the debenture holders. There are some assumptions, because every theory has some assumptions. First assumption is the total capital requirement of the firm are given and remain constant. In this theory, we assume that the capital requirement of the firm given and it is constant, capital requirement always is constant. Cost of second assumption is cost of debenture less than cost of equity. Yes, it is, because debenture is cheaper source of finance and both cost of debenture and cost of equity remain constant. So, when we talk about the theory, this theory approaches that there is a relationship between the capital structure and the value of the share. Firms affect its value by increase or decrease the debt proportions in the overall firms, overall financial mix. Total requirement of the firm are given and it's less than KE is less than KD. Last, both are remain constant. So, there is no growth in payment of equity or cost of equity. So, first let us understand with this help of this diagram. In this diagram, you can see in x axis there is a cost of capital and in y axis there is a degree of leverage, y axis degree of leverage. This is x axis, this is y axis and this is x axis. Okay. So, in x axis degree of leverage and y axis cost of capital. As cost of debenture is less than cost of equity. So, this is the red, this line, red line reflects the cost of debenture. Okay. It is constant. So, it is constant parallel to the y axis and it is less than equity. Therefore, equity is here and debenture is here. Yellow line reflects the cost of equity, which is also constant moving parallel to the y axis. Similarly, degree of leverage moving parallel to the y axis. The cost of capital. and this is cost of equity. This theory said when we increase the debenture, let us see, this is 0, and when we increase the debentures like this, when we increase the debenture, the value of debenture, cost of capital is remain constant, equity remain constant, but overall cost of capital will decrease, overall cost of capital will decrease. Like this. So, in this theory, Durant want to explain that if we increase the debenture in the portfolio constantly with constant, then equity capital or cost of equity capital and cost of debenture will constant, and by adding the debenture overall cost of capital comes down, moving from left to right, downward slope. This is downward slope moving from left to right. So, overall cost of capital will decrease by adding the debenture, but it will not hamper the cost of equity will remain same and will be constant. So, this is the theory and this is the graphical representation of the theory. Now, to prove this theory we have some numericals also. So, first we should understand that V is the total value of the firm, we denote by V, you can denote by any word, here I denote by V, and S is market value of equity shares, market value of equity share, it is not of the cost of the equity share, it is the market value of equity share. Okay. And D is market value of debts, D is market value of debts. Therefore, in financial mix when we add debenture with equity, it shows the total value of the firm. Therefore, V equals to S plus D, V equals to S plus D, V equals to S plus, this is the total value of the firm. Now, with the help of this V, we can find out the cost of overall cost of capital. Overall cost of capital, the formula of overall cost of capital is K naught or KO equals to EBIT divided by V, EBIT divided by V. EBIT is earning before interest and tax. So, EBIT, earning before interest and tax. Similarly, to calculate the S, market value of the equity share, we have a formula, earning available to the equity share. Earning available means after earning available, this means EBIT minus I minus T, means first deduct the interest paid to debenture holders, then pay the tax, remaining balance, if there are any remaining balance, then it is for the equity shareholder divided by equity capitalization rate. So, question is a company expected a net income of rupees 80,000, it has rupees 2 lakhs 8% debenture. The equity capitalization rate of the company is 10%. Calculate the value of the firm and overall capitalization rate according to the net income approach. So, we need to find out the V, value of the firm, and overall capitalization rate यानी K naught and V. Additionally, if the debenture is increased by 3 lakh, if the debenture is increased by 3 lakh, what shall be the value of the firm? What shall be the value of the firm and the overall capitalization rate? So, this is the question. I repeat it again. कंपनीज का इनकम हुआ, नेट इनकम हुआ 80,000 रुपया, कंपनी के पास 2 लाख रुपए हैं जो उन्होंने डिवेंचर से लिए हैं 8% डिवेंचर पे। कंपनी का इक्विटी कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट यानी कि कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी 10% माना गया है। आपको वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्म निकालनी है एंड ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट निकालना है विद नेट इनकम अप्रोच। सेकेंड मैटर है इफ़ द डिवेंचर इंक्रीज, अगर डिवेंचर 2 से 3 लाख हो जाता है तो क्या फ़र्क पड़ेगा ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट पे एंड वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्म पे। सो I already did the numerical, but I try to do here also. Net income is 80,000. Net income is 80,000. Okay, and first we need to find out the value of S. S निकालना है हमें, इक्विटी वैल्यू और इक्विटी मार्केट वैल्यू। उसके लिए हमें बैलेंस चाहिए, इक्विटी वालों के लिए कितना बचा, तो इक्विटी के लिए बचाने के लिए हमें पहले इनकम में से इंटरेस्ट दे दें। तो 2 लाख रुपए का हमारा शेयर थे, 2 लाख रुपए हमने डिवेंचर वालों से लिए, 2 लाख रुपीज़ वी बोरो फ्रॉम द डिवेंचर होल्डर एट द रेट 8%, एट द रेट 8%। देयरफॉर 8%, 2 lakhs का 8%, 16,000 इज हियर, दिस इज इंटरेस्ट पेड टू डिवेंचर होल्डर। एज हियर टैक्स इज इग्नोर्ड, हमने टैक्स इग्नोर किया है तो टैक्स को हम नहीं देंगे। यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन टैक्स के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया गया, टैक्स नहीं लेंगे। ओके, सो इट इज़ 64,000 फॉर द इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर। इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर वालों के लिए कितना पैसा बचा, 64,000। इक्विटी कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट कितना है हमारे पास, 10%। इक्विटी कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट इज 10%। सो वैल्यू ऑफ एस इज, एस की वैल्यू निकालने के लिए क्या करेंगे, इस तरह समझिए इसको, हमें 64 पता है विच इज इक्वल्स टू एक्स का 10%, और एक्स की जगह मैं यहाँ कर देता हूँ, सॉरी एक्स की जगह हम क्या करेंगे यहाँ पे एस कर देते हैं। चलिए एस कर देते हैं। सो क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन 64 into 100 डिवाइडेड बाई 10, 1 0 से 1 0 गया, 6,40,000, 6,40,000। Hope you understand that, 6,40,000. This is the value of S. S is market value of equity share. Now we have market value of equity shares, we have debentures 2 lakhs. So by adding S and D, दोनों को जोड़ देंगे, S और D को, फॉर्मूला पीछे दिखाया था मैंने, S और D को जोड़ देंगे, यहाँ पे हमें मिल गया 8,40,000, हमें मिल गया तो वैल्यू ऑफ फर्म इज 8,40,000। अब क्वेश्चन ये कह रहा है कि अगर इक्विटी शेयर 3 लाख हो गया, सॉरी डिवेंचर 3 लाख हो गए 2 लाख की जगह, तब क्या होगा? 80,000 प्रॉफिट उतना ही रहा, 3 लाख का 8% 24 लेस कर दिया, क्योंकि टैक्स इग्नोर है तो हमें यही 56 ही मानेंगे इक्विटी शेयर वालों का के लिए अर्निंग। कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट सेम रहेगा तो सेम 10%, तो हम 56,000 इंटू 100 डिवाइडेड बाई 10 कर देंगे, जिससे कि हमें पिछले जैसे किया था, जिससे कि हमें मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी एस पता लग जाए, हमें एस पता लग जाए। तो हमें एस पता लग गया, डिवेंचर हमें पता ही है, तो टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्म इज, जब ऐड कर देंगे तो 8,60,000 हो जाएगा, 8,60,000 हो जाएगा। क्वेश्चन ये कह रहा है कि ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट क्या होगा डेप्ट बढ़ाएंगे तो ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन कैसे निकालेंगे हम लोग? यहाँ पर ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट निकालने के लिए 80,000 यानी कि नेट इनकम डिवाइडेड बाई 8,60,000 वैल्यू EBIT डिवाइडेड बाई V, ये फॉर्मूला होता है, इज इक्वल्स टू 9%, 9.3%, इट्स इक्वल टू 9.3%। तो ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट इज 9.3%। अब पिछले वाले में ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट कैसे निकालेंगे? 80,000 डिवाइडेड बाई 8,40,000 इंटू 100, 4 0 4 0 गया, सो 800 डिवाइडेड बाई 84, 2 से किया 42, 20, 2 से किया 21, 200 डिवाइडेड बाई 21, पॉइंट लगाया, पॉइंट लगाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, 9 से कर देंगे, $11, 21 इंटू 5, 105, 5 बचा, तो 9.5, अप्रॉक्सली 9.5। तो देखिए जब हमने जब हमने डिवेंचर को 3 लाख किया तो हमारा ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट कम हो गया। डिवेंचर को 3 लाख किया, हमारा ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट क्या हुआ? कम हो गया। पिछली बार कितना था हमारा ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट? 9.5, ओवरऑल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट 9.5, अब 9 कम होकर क्या हो गया? 9.3, 9.3। सो जब हमारा डिवेंचर, हमने डिवेंचर को बढ़ाना शुरू किया अपना, ये मान लेते हैं यहाँ पे 2 लाख था, यहाँ पे 2 लाख था और यहाँ पे हमने 3 लाख हो गया डिवेंचर हमारा, 1 लाख और बढ़ गया। एज पर द थ्योरी 9.5 से 9.3 हो गया, तो डिक्रीज, हैंस प्रूव्ड दैट कि व्हेन वी इंक्रीज द डिवेंचर कांस्टेंट रेट, ओवरऑल कॉस्ट will decrease as per the theory of net income approach, as per the theory of net income approach. What I want to show you in this slides. So, friends, hopefully you understand that the theory of net income approach, in which the author, the Durant, said that when we maintain the constant rate of debenture, the overall cost of capital will decreases, and I will prove, I have proved that with the help of this numerical. So, hope you understand the topic. Thank you for watching this video.